Fifth week. You know it's a top 5.
Top 5, top 5.
Top 5.
Oh, yeah. That's hot.
Top 5.
No,
Top
again.
5.
You gotta stay tuned to find out what it's about, though.
Top 5. Let's get into that. Hey everybody, I'm Nate Warnock.
I'm Andrea.
And this is Marriage Monday. This is a show that we do every Monday where we take a look at what the Bible says about God's design for marriage and how we can practically live that out within our own marriages.
Yes, and today we are departing from that and we are doing a top 5. So if there's a 5th week Monday, we do top 5.
In a month. Right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
usually there's 4 of each day in a month, but every month there's 5 of a few days.
Yes.
Whenever it's a 5th Monday, top 5.
Yes, thanks for that clarification. So yeah, today we're doing a top 5, which is top 5 things you may not know about my spouse.
Right.
And I'm excited.
Who's your spouse?
You'll have to find out. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so I'm giving top 5 things that you might not know about Andrea, and she's giving top 5 things that you might not know about me.
And the fun thing is we don't know, every time we do these top 5s, we don't know what the other person wrote. So it's all, I'm finding out as you're finding out.
That's right.
So it's fun.
That's right. So, without further ado, shall we jump on in? So maybe some, we always like to kind of set this up. So was there any parameters you had on?
No.
Okay. I mean,
I try to think of things that lots of people wouldn't know.
That's good. That is the title.
I mean, there's lots of things that probably, I try to think of things that maybe like even your closest friends don't know.
Really?
I don't know that I hit that. If you're a close friend of Nathan's, you'll have to comment.
Oh, you know everything about me.
You'll have to comment if any of these were surprises, but I really tried to think about things that you might not actually know. Like, for example, everybody probably knows that he chews his nails like crazy, so I couldn't put that on there.
No, I don't.
And I was like, no nails at all.
It's not good, guys.
No, it's not. Good. Were there any parameters you went by?
No, so I've got, of mine, I have, number 5 will shock you. No, I have one in here that is something I'm betting, don't know about Andrea physically.
Oh, boy.
Then I have...
Do I know?
Then I have...
Do I know?
Don't worry. It's
something I can't see.
It's PG. Then...
There's stretch marks on my butt.
Then something about...
I don't know. Is it something I can't see?
Yes, it is stretch marks on your butt.
Well, I wouldn't know.
I thought I would just go right with that. So that'll be good. Then something more about your family. That a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
And then the other 3 were just oddities about you that
I'm not
people may not know. So that's what I got.
Great. Okay. Number 5. All right. Should I go first?
Go for it.
Okay. Number 5. Top 5 things you don't know about Nathan. Well, you might have figured this out by now if you've been watching us or listening to us for very long. He does not say my name.
That is true.
Nathan...
I don't even know it.
He doesn't say my name. Like, I think there's maybe 2 times a year that he actually says my name. And of course, when he's talking about me to somebody else, he does.
But I'm going to stop.
But I never hear him call me by my name.
Funny. That's so
and
true.
And if he does, it might not even be twice a year. Might be a lot. I mean, it might maybe be once a year. But if I hear him say my name, I know he is like beyond aggravated at me, and that doesn't happen very often. Thank God.
Oh no!
But if he says my name, yikes. He's not got some really great thoughts going on in his head about me at the moment. So, top 5 things. Yeah. Number 5, he does not say my name.
Man, you could do a top... If we were doing Women Power Wednesday still, you could probably do a top 5 of things I call you.
Yes.
You probably do a lot more than top 5. Because I have tons of pet names for you.
Yes.
And you're right. I very rarely.
Babe
very
is
rarely
the
call
most
you.
commonly used one, which is
Sure.
very sweet. I love it. You know, I've gotten used to it, but
You didn't necessarily always love it, though, did you?
no. And there are some things I've asked him not to call me.
Ooh.
Love, right? Love. Oh yes, love. Because because the owner of the company that I used to work for and one of the other older guys, they always called their wives Love, and then hearing Nathan call me Love, I was like, well, I'm not that old.
Nice. Well, thanks, love.
Oh no.
JK. All right, my number 5 is the one about you physically.
Oh boy.
And it is
Oh,
the
no.
stretch mark. No, it's not that. If somebody just jumped into this video, they're going to be like, this guy is a jerk. No, it is that. On Andrea's upper stomach, she has a birthmark that she's had since birth. And it is an almost perfect heart.
Yep.
And so, and I mean, certainly I'm sure people know this because, when you like wear bathing suits and things, you can see it. But it is a near perfect heart. And it's, God, I think, has a sense of humor because Andrea cannot stand like heart jewelry and heart sort of related things, but she has a heart permanently implanted on her.
I do.
By the Lord.
Right.
Right there on her stomach.
Yep,
and it
it's
is
just
super
right
cute.
in the center. Isn't that funny?
Yep, super cute. It's great. Perfect heart. So, that is my number 5. Andrea has a heart on.
Number 4. Do we pause after saying number 4? Yes, we do.
No, we were supposed to do that before.
What?
So we've already paused, and it's played the music, and now you're going.
All right. Number 4 thing that you don't know about Nathan is, he hates spontaneity. Nathan does not like
It's true.
he doesn't like things creeping up on him or surprising him. So, for example, if it's Saturday morning and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day, we should go to the zoo. And that morning I say, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day, we should go to the zoo. Homie, don't play that game.
No.
He does not like that. But
I'm a planner.
if I had said to him on Friday, oh my gosh, it's going to be so nice on Saturday, let's go to the zoo, he'd be like, okay. And then Saturday would roll around and he'd be great with it. But if I say it's Saturday, no thank you, not happy about
That's
it.
right.
He is not in a good mood about that. He does not like things to be sprung on him. He hates it.
I'm a planner.
So, he doesn't like things that are spontaneous. But the funny thing about that is he loves to surprise me. Mm-hmm. So he has come up with some humdingers of surprises for me throughout our marriage. Like big things. And he loves doing that, but he does not like things sprung on him. He's done some like big trips that I haven't known about until we're like at the airport.
Yeah, that's fun.
He's great at it. But
yeah, I do like that sort of thing. But again, then that's me. I planned it.
Right.
So I knew and had an opportunity to wrap my head around it. That will be coming into direct conflict with one of my numbers coming up here in a little bit. So you think you and your spouse are different? Stay tuned. Okay, my number 4 is not about Andrea specifically, but more about her family, because this is something that I think is really cool about Andrea's family that a lot of people don't know. And that is tons of people in the Christian community, especially people with children, know about Awana. So if you don't know, or if you've just heard of it but you're not really familiar with what it is, Awana is a children's program for really getting your kids steeped in the Word of God at a young age, with a particular emphasis on memorizing Scripture. And what a lot of people don't know about Andrea and the McMahon family, her maiden name is McMahon, is that her mom's dad, so her grandfather, was one of the founding missionaries for Awana.
Right.
And Awana is now, man, I don't even know how many churches. I mean, everywhere.
It's
internationally,
over the globe,
and everywhere. And he was one of the founding.
He was the first Awana
missionaries for it, which is really an incredible thing. So there's a super real chance that almost everyone listening to this podcast or watching this video knows what Awana is or has had it impact their family. And what you probably didn't know is that a huge piece of that comes from Andrea's grandfather, who really poured, and grandmother both, right? Who really poured a ton of their life into Awana. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for that.
That's a great one. Thanks for that. Number 3 is, you gotta look at my notes. Oh my gosh, you've had tons of different varying jobs and careers.
That is so true.
Widely varied. So when I met Nathan, he worked as a sales guy at a jewelry store.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was doing. Then he worked for an optometrist for a while.
A long time. Before the jewelry store.
Yeah, and then he went back to it.
Oh, that's right. For
so when I met him, he was working as sales at a jewelry store. And then he went back to working at an optometrist's office. Mm-hmm. And then he got, his degree, his undergraduate degree in accounting. So he worked for a bank. Well, he worked for an accounting firm.
Yep.
And then he worked for a bank.
Yep.
Doing some accounting work for the bank.
Yep.
And then he went a different direction and he went to law school. And while he was in law school, he worked for a law firm and he got his law degree, and he worked for that law firm as an attorney for a while. So now we've had jewelry store, optometrist, law clerk, attorney, and then he jumped ship on that and went into business with his parents, and they have a commercial cleaning company. So he does largely sales for a commercial cleaning company, and that's what he does.
That's right. And you didn't even know me when I was baristaing.
Yes.
Right? I baristed so hard for a while.
Yeah, he's done the barista thing, and he's
slanging
been a
pancakes.
server.
Yep. Pretty varied.
His jobs have varied wildly, and what he is now settled on is very different than what he went to school for.
No doubt. No doubt.
So, who knew that a 36-year-old guy could have so many careers?
Probably says something about that guy. All right. My number 3. So, when you meet someone and you talk to them about their life, you know, you're going to ask them about, you're married, do you have any kids, what do you do for a living? And then at some point, you're going to ask them, well, what do you like to do when you're not working? And every human being I've ever met has had some answer to that, right? They might like playing board games. They might like going to the movies. They might like giving time at like a orphanage or, whatever. People have these things that are called hobbies. Well, here's the thing. When God created Andrea, he left that part out. Andrea does not have hobbies. She doesn't have non-work related things that she so much enjoys doing. She's just Andrea. And here's the thing. It drove me crazy for a really long time because, for us, like guys, like a big part of dating and all of that is I want to find somebody I can connect with and go do fun stuff with. Mm-hmm. And it really bothered me that because I'm a hobby guy. I mean, Andrea, we've talked about this on other episodes. Like I have a number of hobbies that I'm really into that I really enjoy. And so, I'm trying to like find out, okay, well, what do you like to, I want to do what you like to do. What do you like to do? And we really decided that Andrea has, at the end of the day, but one hobby that she really enjoys. And that hobby is cleaning the house. So that's this is true. I will wake Jackson up and I will bring him in here.
That's not true.
So Andrea's hobby is cleaning the house, right? I mean, she puts Mr. Clean to shame when it comes to house cleaning.
No, but yeah, you come to my house, it's dirty.
Well, that's because you have 4 people undoing all of your work all the time. 5 people now. And it's not necessarily like, when I say it's a hobby, it's not because like she, although you were watching a cleaning related YouTube video earlier today that I overheard. But it's like she does it at hobby time, right? So, I have one of my best friends that comes over every Monday and we play board games because that's what we're into and we enjoy that as a hobby.
God didn't forget that part of you.
Routinely, we'll just start laughing in the midst of playing our board game because it's 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 at night, and the vacuum is rocking upstairs, right above where we're playing. It's Andrea getting her hobby time in, and we laugh about that. So it's something that when we were first together, at my own immaturity, it was like, well, I want to do something with you because it makes me feel good about doing something together, and over time we've realized that. It's not, I joke about the cleaning as a hobby thing. The reality of the matter is, it's just the way you're wired. You don't get into those like hobby sort of things.
I find
that's okay.
I find a lot of things enjoyable, but
sure.
I'm not like, I don't take on a hobby, I guess.
Right.
And I just really like to accomplish things.
Right. That's right, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Big accomplisher.
Right, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And I joke with, the guys that I get into hobby stuff with that, people like that drive me nuts, right? And I say that tongue-in-cheek, but, the people that are like, they go to work all day and then they just can't wait to get home and, like, rip a perfectly good room in their house down to the studs and rebuild it because that's what they do for a hobby, and I just want to strangle you people because it makes me feel like this small when I'm like, well, I want to get home and throw dice around the table for 3 hours, but it's what I enjoy.
It's just wired.
And so it's people that are wired differently, and it took me a shamefully long time to get to a place where I was cool with that, but that's something a lot of people may not know about Andrea, because you're so full of life and joy and laughter, you would think like, oh man, you're probably into all sorts of different things, and the answer to that is
no, there's
not really
much going on up here.
That's clear. Just to be clear, that's not what I was saying.
I know.
Right, so number 3 for Andrea does not have hobbies.
Okay, number 2 thing you might not know about Nathan is he doesn't eat meat that have bones. So you may be saying, there is no meat that doesn't have bones.
It's not accurate.
Except
boneless wings. Am I right?
Except like shrimp, that sort of thing. But if he can see the bones, that grosses him out.
Yeah.
So I can't even buy like a rotisserie chicken and cut the meat off for him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have the bones don't have to even be on his plate.
No, it's not.
I have bought a rotisserie chicken and like cut the breast meat off for him, and he's like super gross.
like a child.
Yes, like a child. He's super grossed out by it.
No, it's so slimy and
he thinks like it is so gross.
Bone residue on it, and
the meat you eat that we get, the boneless, skinless chicken that we get from the store, it used to be right next to a bone.
No, science denier.
So it totally grosses him out. Ribs are like he'll eat them sometimes if we're somewhere, to be polite.
Yeah.
But he is like, I can
don't know what
see
it is.
him like getting all nervous.
Yeah, I just don't like it at all.
He does not eat meat with bones.
Oh, and Jackson just destroys drumsticks.
Yes,
like the chicken legs.
Yes.
And I just, bleh.
You can't even, he can hardly even watch it.
Yeah. Ugh. No.
Such a funny thing about Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's a weird.
Because you're
me.
You're not like a dainty little eater.
I know.
You love meat and the meat and potatoes type thing. But
I am kind of a meat and potatoes guy.
I keep asking his mom if he had some like horrific experience with bones when he was younger, but there's
weird.
Nothing.
I'm a weirdo.
Such a funny thing.
Yeah.
So number 3, he does not eat meat if he can see the bones.
That's right. Number 2, right? Number 2.
Did I say 3? I don't know. Number 2.
Number 2.
Sorry.
We're fine.
2.
We're fine. Number 2 is look, there are acceptable things to do, like later in the evening.
We already talked about this.
You've had dinner. Maybe you've sat down and watched a movie. It's getting to be 10:30 at night. There's like a level of things that are acceptable to be doing at that time, right? Like you can have a bowl of ice cream, maybe, or a little snack before you're going to go to bed. Probably brushing your teeth or, whatever. That's not going to cut it at our house, right? I mean, come 10:30 at night, you have entered what we like to call the Spätzle zone. Because Spätzle, now if you know what Spätzle is, it is
a German noodle.
A German noodle that is really good. And you can, it's kind of a doughier noodle, even doughier than like an egg noodle.
It's really good.
You put some sauce on it or whatever. Delicious for dinner, like 5 or 5:30. No. For Andrea, the Spätzle zone opens up at about 10:30 at night. And I don't know, it's that specific thing. Like, it gets to be 10:30 and she's feeling hungry. There's only one thing that we'll do. And I'm not talking about like, hey, grab some frozen Spätzle out of the freezer, drop it in a pot of water, and away we go. No. I'm talking flour,
it has to be
salt,
made.
Eggs, the batter's being made. I mean, the whole thing's happening at 10:30 at night. The whole deal. It's like a production kitchen in our home, but only after 10 o'clock at night. It's like you have to wait until the lunch hour, but actually in Germany.
I guess.
Then at that point,
Spätzle just sounds really good late at night.
Right, and it cracks me up every time. I mean, we talk about is it Spätzle hour routinely at our house, and it's hilarious, right? I mean, it's these kind of things that are they're oddities of human beings that make. I mean, it makes me love you all the more because it's hilarious and it's so weird, and I just love it.
I will say, my children were just introduced. I eat Spätzle all the time. My children were just introduced to Spätzle.
Not at normal hours.
Yes. My children were just introduced to Spätzle like a couple weeks ago because I made it during a normal hour of the day, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good!"
Right. There's a reason you've been doing this forever, since before we had kids. There's a reason that Jackson at 10 is just being introduced to it, because ain't none of that making it to the next morning.
No.
Like, that's getting made at 10:30 at night, and it's gone well before the next morning. So,
Yikes.
There you go. My number 2, the Spätzle zone.
Okay. Number 1 thing that you might not know about Nathan is he is really good at women's fashion. Nathan,
I mean, when I put on a nice
no, he does not
dress.
Wear women's fashion, although there are some stories.
There are no stories.
Dude, you put on my skirt.
Oh, that is true. That did happen one time.
I lived in Colorado. And I don't know what got into you, but okay, when I was living in Colorado, I had this kind of like a tennis skirt, and I'm not sure why. It had like shorts that were sewn into it, He got it into his head that he needed to wear it, so he put it on and went to my balcony and wore it out on my balcony for a while.
Let's not for a while. No. Long enough to get a laugh out of you, and then...
Well, yes.
Put it away.
It wasn't like he was running out there and running back. And Nathan's and my bodies are very different, and our hair level is very different too. So that was quite the sight. But anyway,
no bueno.
Not wearing women's fashion. Nathan is good at choosing women's fashion for me. So if I have anything fashionable on, it's probably because Nathan chose it. He is like really good at putting together a look for women. And he oftentimes shops for me. Like, I've asked him, I think you've done it without me asking you, but I've also asked him at some birthdays or whatever, like, will you just go shop for me and put some outfits together and give that to me as my gift? And it's every time, it's so good.
Funny.
Yeah, you're great at it.
Weird. I don't know where that came from either.
I know.
Same place where I got my fear of bones.
You were good at it before we were together, so it's been a while.
I know. I don't know what the heck. Awesome. That's a good one, babe. All right. My number one for Andrea is, I'm sure if you've watched these videos with any kind of regularity, you probably have come to the correct realization that Andrea's a pretty down-to-earth woman. She's very fact of the matter, and not black and white in a taking that too far away, but in a she's very straightforward and to look at things logically and deal with them, and we're not going to let emotion, drama, and craziness get the better of us. We're going to just deal with things as they come, and it's a real anchor, really honestly, to our family that you are that way. And it helps keep the kids grounded. It helps to keep our family grounded and moving the right direction. And it's really a super admirable thing that I love about you. And also something that no one would ever know if they only looked at our YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon histories.
True.
Because if you get to look at those things, I mean, it is nothing but a parade of the most drama-filled, emotionally crazed, psychopathic, real-life story
Quote,
dramas
real life.
that have ever been produced. Right? I mean, it is nothing but a steady diet of hoarders, my crazy addiction, all that Dr. Phil, and it's nothing but shows where it's like people that I'm like, babe, you could not possibly be any more different than these people that are on these shows, and you just cannot get enough of it. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it is, you would think Andrea and Ted Bundy were besties.
Oh boy.
Because I think you have watched every Ted Bundy thing ever made.
Yeah, true.
It's
because it's somebody else's drama, not my own.
Yeah, no, you've said that, and I totally get it. But it is so funny that you eat that stuff up, because I'm like, I watch some of the stuff like over your shoulder, and I'm like, how does this not just make you want to throw your phone across the room and out the window? Because that's what those shows make me want to do. But you love them.
Mm-hmm. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Apparently.
But I like watching it.
Yeah, and you're not alone, because those shows, from what everybody says, are pretty popular shows. But that is something you may not know about Andrea. Is you want to sit down and watch a show with Andrea, feel free to suggest whatever psycho show you can find where there's like, girl has 7 boyfriends and they don't know about each other, and she also axe murdered a priest, and I don't know what else, other craziness. But all that, put that all in a show, that's going to be great. So that's my number one. Andrea loves
a good one.
High drama
That was a good one.
shows.
Yep, sure do.
It's good. Babe, anything else?
There's lots of secrets I could tell about Nathan, but these are the top 5 that I think most people don't know.
Funny. It's great, guys. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little more intimate look into some of the things that we don't talk about all the time. Yeah. So, man, love to know, with their permission, right? Obviously, we had each other's permission, but with their permission, love you to put in the comments down below some things that people may not know about your spouse. that strike you. Maybe they're things that you love. Maybe they're things you used to hate and you've grown to love or admire. Maybe they're things you still don't love. But put those
Just
down
be
in the
kind.
comments below. Or if you're listening on podcast, pop over to Marriage by Design Podcast on Facebook and put it in the comments there. I'd love to hear from you. Also, remember, every Sunday at 8:30, we do a live on Facebook and YouTube.
Central
We'll talk
Time.
some about those as well this upcoming Sunday. So come armed with some quirky things about you or your spouse at that
Yeah,
time.
we love it.
That's right. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Have a happy 5th Monday. And remember, God is for your marriage.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Marriage by Design. If you were impacted by this video, like it by hitting the thumbs up below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and once you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when new episodes release.
Excellent. Also, one of the huge pillars of our show is interactivity between us and you. So we would love you to comment down in the comments below if you have thoughts about this video or if you have questions or other things you'd like to see considered in the future. In addition, if you'd like, you can email us. That's marriagebydesignpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at Marriage by Design Podcast, or you can find us on Facebook by searching Marriage by Design Podcast. Finally, if you want to, you can tweet at us. We do have a Twitter account that is at MarriageXDesign. Thanks, and have a great day.